What if the biggest thing hurting your auditions isn't your acting? What if it's your thinking? Today, we're discussing how actors quietly sabotage themselves before the audition even begins. And trust me, this happens consistently. This is Casting Actors Cast.
Casting actors cast, what a show! With Jeffrey Dreisbach, we're ready to go. From agents to gigs, learn what you lack. Tune in every week, we're bringing you back.
Well, hello and welcome to Casting Actors Cast. I'm Jeff Dreisbach, and today we're discussing one of the biggest hidden audition problems that actors face: overthinking. Now, actors hate hearing this because many actors secretly believe overthinking means they're being, I don't know, serious professionals. No, sometimes it just means your brain is doing interpretive dance while your instincts are trapped in the trunk of the car. And honestly, actors can overthink themselves directly out of truthful work. We're going to jump into all of that. But first, this is that moment of the conversation where I get to just simply thank you for joining me. I invite you to check out the website, castingactorscast.com. There's a form there that says dive into the talent pool. And if you do that, that's going to open up some freebies. It's a website that has information about my new book that's out, my audiobook. There's all kinds of, oh, there's Jeff's Jots, by the way, and that's corresponding show notes to each of the episodes so that you can literally have a copy of the bulleted script that I use to do these podcasts. So I find that to be, a lot of folks have told me that this seems to be really, really helpful for them, especially if something, strikes the right kind of nerve in terms of information. And listen, the only reason I'm doing these podcasts is a sincere desire to help actors feel more comfortable and more confident in the world of acting. That's it. It's the show business thing, but it's also the internal work that actors can do to make themselves feel more alive, more appreciated, and guess what? Book more. That's kind of it, right? Wouldn't you like to book more? Well, listen, stay tuned. That's why I'm here. Also, please do check out the website, but also there's the course that's available there. I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff there as well. Also, you can leave me an email, castingactorscast@gmail.com. And if you want to just write me a question or a comment, that would be awesome. Finally, if you could think about giving me a like and a subscribe, that would help me so much. That's what keeps me motivated to do this work, and I would appreciate any consideration along those lines. Maybe even, I don't know, a review on iTunes, perhaps. All right, I'm not going to start begging now, although I really, really want to. All right, now let's jump back into this subject, please. We're going to call this the approval trap. One of the biggest mindset problems actors face, in my opinion, is this. Having done a lot of auditions lately, I can tell you this firsthand. They walk into auditions wanting approval instead of connection. That subtle difference absolutely changes everything. Approval energy sounds like, oh, please like me. Please think I'm talented. Please tell me I belong here. And when actors need approval, guess what happens? They become careful. Careful acting is usually dead acting. Suddenly, actors begin, the first thing, they start monitoring themselves. They start editing their impulses. They start presenting emotion, trying to look good. And the performance itself starts feeling quite manufactured. Here's a real casting truth. The actors who often feel most alive in auditions are usually the least concerned with appearing impressive. They are engaged, present, connected, specific, while the actor desperately trying to prove themselves often feels tense. And tension reads immediately on camera. Now, next, I just have to share this, the what I call the self-monitoring disaster. Actors sometimes perform while simultaneously watching themselves internally. It's like acting while also being your own nervous stage manager. Things that you say to yourself while you're doing the scene are like, did that sound emotional? Was that believable? Should I pause more? Do I look weird? Meanwhile, the scene has emotionally left the building. I've said this in a recent episode. I just honestly think it bears repeating. And that is if you've ever had a teacher, whether or a director, who ever said to you after a scene, whether it's a scene study or whether it's an actual scene that you're doing, after they give you a note, do they ever say to you, "Oh, how did that feel?" I think I've heard that almost all my life as an actor. How did that feel? Not realizing that when that question gets asked, what is happening? What is happening is that it is reinforcing you watching yourself. In other words, while you're doing the scene, trying to incorporate the note the director has given you, you are now monitoring yourself. And then when you hear, how did that feel? You go back into your catalog of emotional experiences and expressions and self doubt thoughts. And oftentimes you say, oh, that was great. Sometimes the need for approval from the director supersedes you doing the scene. Gosh, I hope that makes sense, right? So, listen, I don't want you to ever be rude, not in an audition or when you get an adjustment from a director, because they're just trying to help reinforce those things that are working. So I get the motivation. But subliminally, ooh, good word. Subliminally, I think that that is kind of telling you to be really skilled at taking your own temperature so that you can give yourself a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And the truth of the matter is that truthful acting, well, that requires involvement, not surveillance. And honestly, most human beings are not monitoring themselves constantly during emotional moments. They are trying to survive them. All right, moving on from there, a lot of actors unknowingly bring school energy into professional auditions. Now, you can be of any age, so I'm not pointing out any particular group, right? But I see it happening very, very frequently that actors audition like they're nervous students waiting for grades. But the professional world does not work that way, right? Casting is not searching for the best cry, the most dramatic pause, the loudest emotional explosion. They are usually searching for truth. Are you a good fit for the character? Looking for humanity, specificity, behavior. The biggest in my mind, behavior. Sometimes the actor who books isn't the most emotionally theatrical, they're simply the most believable. And let me tell you, that can frustrate actors who were trained to equate intensity with quality. Yeah, we're going to have more. What's coming up? I have to talk about this over preparation. And we're going to do that right after this message. Welcome back. Now, let's discuss another dangerous actor habit that I see that sabotages so many auditions, and that's what I call overbuilding. Let me explain. Some actors prepare for auditions like they're writing a doctoral dissertation about sadness. Meanwhile, the audition is just 3 pages. Actors will sometimes create 14-page backstories, symbolic childhood trauma maps, emotional weather systems, color coded psychological journals. I've seen that. Now, listen, preparation absolutely matters, but preparation should support spontaneity, not suffocate it. When actors become too locked into, quote, the plan, end quote, they stop listening. And once listening disappears, so does truthful behavior. Now, there's a fear that we have to talk about, and this is absolutely another problem. Actors often think simple means weak. That is categorically not true. Simple, truthful behavior is usually much harder than emotional decoration. Why? Because simplicity requires confidence. It requires trusting your presence, your listening, your instincts, the writing. Some actors are terrified that if they stop performing, nothing interesting will happen. With all due respect, I see this happening so often with well trained musical theater actors trying to do straight acting. But guess what? Often the opposite occurs. The work suddenly becomes human when you remove the energy of performance. The work suddenly comes alive. I know it's going to take some time to really let that absorb, but I promise you that's golden. I just made you a lot of money right now. All right, let's move on. I always try to give out an exercise to you in the hope that you try these exercises just to sort of reinforce the concepts of each of these podcasts. So here's the quick episode. Here's the quick exercise for this week. I want you to take any self tape that you've done recently. Now, I want you to watch it again, preferably something not so recent, something that's not still in the frontal cortex of your brain, something that you did a while ago that you maybe kind of forgot about a little bit, but that's the one I want you to take a look at. Now, listen, I want you to watch it with the sound off. Yeah, turn off the sound. Now ask, am I behaving or demonstrating? I promise you that question alone can completely change your work if you see a clear answer. Amazing, right? Wrapping this up a little bit, actors often sabotage themselves not because they lack talent, but because they are trying too hard to control the outcome. Truthful acting usually requires involvement, not perfection. And the moment actors stop auditioning for approval, their work often becomes far more compelling. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Jeff Dreisbach. This is Casting Actors Cast. Here's it. Here's the deal. Here's it. Here's the deal. Keep learning, keep listening, and maybe stop emotionally supervising yourself like an anxious substitute teacher. Your instincts are smarter than you think. See you next time.
From monologues to screen tests to